Welcome to UNILAD Adventure. This week we're talking about how to get the most out of a trip to China. It's a huge country and there's a lot to discover, so let's dive right in. Beijing is full of incredible experiences, from local traditions to historical architecture and culture. If you're planning a trip here, you can't miss the Forbidden City. It's a former Chinese palace from the era of the Ming Dynasty, built over 500 years ago in 1420. It's previously been a home to emperors and the Chinese government and is now listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with brightly coloured walls and beautifully crafted features around the whole grounds. You can explore it freely at your own pace and learn an awful lot about Chinese heritage. A couple of other famous landmarks to visit are the Temple of Heaven and the Summer Palace. Visually, these temples look incredible and they're definitely a great spot for a few unmissable photos. It won't take you long to explore the Temple of Heaven, which is right in the city centre and is surrounded by beautiful gardens where you'll find locals singing and exercising together. If you have some extra time on your hands, it's a really peaceful place to walk around, get some fresh air and take in the culture that's all around you. Beijing is also a great place to book a trip out to the Great Wall. You can get a day trip out to Badeling, climb 800 meters up the wall and get some fantastic views from the top. Many of these trips come with a tour of a china factory where you can see how traditional Chinese ceramics are made. At first, we weren't sold on this, but once you see the level of detail that goes into this work, it's actually a really interesting tour, and it only takes about half an hour to complete. Then there's the city of Xi'an, where you can see the famous Terracotta Army. They were originally built for the first emperor of China to give him an army that could protect him in the afterlife. There are 3 huge vault rooms and a museum exhibit to explore with over 8,000 soldiers. No two are the same, with each figure having a completely different face or expression. It takes about 3 hours to see everything at the Terracotta Army exhibit, leaving you plenty of time to do even more with your day. If you're heading back to Xi'an, then it's a good idea to check out the giant Wild Goose Pagoda. This is a stunning Buddhist temple that dates back to the 7th century, with beautiful grounds and incredibly detailed shrines. Now, of course, it wouldn't be right to do a video on China without mentioning the giant pandas. The best place to see these is in Chengdu, at the Chengdu research base of giant panda breeding. This is a non-profit facility where they're doing everything they can to conserve and protect giant pandas. You can get an up-close look at these guys on their tour. Next up is Shanghai. Being one of China's most modern cities, Shanghai has so much to offer. It's full of intriguing marketplaces that you could literally spend all day getting lost in. But one of the best to explore is the Yujian Bazaar. This place has everything from gadgets to clothes, art, and authentic Chinese street food. Like most Chinese cities, Shanghai has plenty of traditional gardens that allow you to step into a peaceful space away from the hustle and bustle of the streets. In fact, there's even one right at the heart of the Yujian Bazaar, where you can see cultural architecture, bonsai trees, and koi ponds. If you're looking for the best views in Shanghai, then there are 2 places we can recommend. The first is heading to the top of TV Tower. Be aware that it will cost you around 16 British pounds or $22 US to get a ticket to the observation deck, but the views from up here are second to none. If you're only going to be here once, then we think it's definitely worth it. The best view of Shanghai's iconic skyline is completely free and it can be found at the Bund. It's great to come here at night and watch the city light up the sky. Other great things you can do from Shanghai include going to a silk factory where you can see how the Chinese make their authentic silk products. And going for a day trip out to Suzhou. This city was built on a series of canals and is often referred to as the Venice of China. You can take a boat trip down the canals, meet the locals, and spend the day exploring the city. That's all we have time for on this episode, but don't forget to drop your recommendations for China in the comments below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more of the best travel tips and videos from around the world weekly.